Hey guys, tonight we're stepping back nearly 2,000 years into the past to a city louder, dirtier, and far more chaotic than most history books usually admit. A place filled with crowded streets, flickering oil lamps, shouting merchants, wandering animals, and the constant smell of smoke, sweat, bread, and burning olive oil. Tonight, we arrive in the year 65 AD, inside the powerful Roman Empire, more specifically, inside the massive capital city of Rome. The good news is that you've just woken up inside one of the most powerful civilizations the ancient world has ever seen. The bad news is that living here is far less glamorous than marble statues and Hollywood movies might have led you to believe. But before we wander into the streets of ancient Rome, take a moment to like the video if you enjoy calm history storytelling like this. And if you'd like more journeys into the past, consider subscribing as well. I always find it fascinating to see where people are listening from. So feel free to leave a comment telling me your country and what time it is for you right now. Some of you might be listening late at night, others early in the morning. History tends to travel surprisingly well across time zones. Now dim the lights in your room, maybe turn on a fan or some quiet background noise, and let your shoulders relax. Take a slow breath and imagine this. You wake up slowly on a wooden bed. It's not especially comfortable. The mattress beneath you is stuffed with straw and wool, and it makes a faint rustling sound every time you shift your weight. Your room is small. In fact, it's so small that if you stretched your arms fully to both sides, you might nearly touch both walls. You're living inside one of Rome's famous apartment buildings known as insulae. These tall buildings house hundreds of ordinary Romans stacked on top of each other like boxes in a warehouse. The lower floors are usually occupied by wealthier tenants, because they're safer and easier to access. The higher you live, the cheaper the rent becomes. Unfortunately, you live near the top, which means you climb a lot of stairs every day. And it also means that if the building ever catches fire or collapses, escaping quickly might be challenging. Outside your small window, the city is already waking up. You hear metal tools clanging somewhere below. A donkey brays loudly in protest at being loaded with sacks of grain. Merchants shout to advertise their goods. Bread. Fresh bread, olives, hot stew. Even before the sun fully rises, Rome is already alive with noise. You slowly sit up. The cool morning air drifts through the window. Somewhere nearby, a rooster crows, although in a city this large, roosters are far from the only thing waking people up. Rome has nearly 1 million residents during its peak, making it the largest city in the world at this time. And with that many people living close together, silence is a rare luxury. You step outside into the hallway and begin descending the narrow staircase. The stairs creak beneath your feet. A neighbor passes you on the way up carrying a clay jug filled with water from a public fountain. Water is precious here. Not every apartment has direct access to it. So many residents make daily trips to public fountains fed by Rome's famous aqueducts. When you finally reach the street level, the world outside greets you with a mix of fascinating and unpleasant sensations. The streets of Rome are narrow and crowded. Large stone blocks form the roads, polished smooth by the constant movement of carts and pedestrians. Along the edges of the street, shallow channels carry wastewater slowly toward the city's drainage system. Romans are excellent engineers. Their aqueducts, baths, and roads are among the most advanced in the ancient world. But sanitation in crowded urban streets is still imperfect. So it's wise to watch where you step. Street vendors are already setting up their stalls. One man sells warm bread fresh from a nearby bakery. The smell drifts through the air, comforting and familiar. Another merchant displays jars of olives soaked in oil and herbs. Nearby, a small cook shop prepares bowls of thick stew for workers heading to their jobs. Garlic sizzles in a pan. Meat simmers slowly in clay pots. Despite the noise and chaos, there is something strangely lively about the atmosphere. This city is the heart of an empire stretching across 3 continents. From the cold northern forests of Europe to the deserts of Africa and the rich lands of the Middle East. And at the center of it all lies Rome. But life here isn't easy. The empire runs on systems that modern people would likely find disturbing. Slavery is everywhere. Across the Roman world, millions of people live as slaves. Some were captured in wars. Others were born into servitude. Some even sold themselves into slavery to escape crushing debts. In Rome itself, slaves cook meals, clean houses,